The Ebola-infected patient, Thomas Duncan, had been staying with people at a northeast Dallas apartment complex since he arrived in North Texas. The Ivy Apartments are on Fair Oaks Avenue, south of Walnut Hill Lane, just a few miles away from Presbyterian Hospital, where he's now being treated. Fox 4's James Rose is at that apartment complex with more on what the people who are living there are saying, and more from Duncan's brother, who we heard from earlier in this newscast. James.
Right, at this point, Steve, we don't know the exact relationship of the people he was staying with here at the Ivy apartment complex. We're told family members, but don't know much more than that. But I can tell you, many of the folks I talked to here at the Ivy apartment complex are very concerned.
My brother, I know very well. He's a very hard-working person, and he's very fine, very decent kind of person.
Wilfred Smallwood is Ebola victim Thomas Duncan's older brother who lives in Arizona.
Few days ago, when he got a little fever, and we think it's because of change of environment. We think it's a change of environment that happens to so many when we come to a different country.
The city of Dallas says Duncan had just moved to North Texas. The New York Times reports Duncan quit his shipping company job in Monrovia because he'd gotten a visa to the United States and was coming to be with his family. The Times says on September 15th, his landlord's daughter got very sick and Duncan helped carry the woman to the hospital. She died the next day. Then the landlord's son became ill and he died. At least two others in the same neighborhood who may have had contact with the woman also died. Duncan's brother is not convinced he got Ebola in Liberia.
Where did he contract it from? When he had tested here in Africa, he was negative. And you were in the hospital before you give him medication. After the medication, and you're okay. How come did he get Ebola after you gave him medication?
It's scary, real scary. Because they should have told somebody something.
Darian Jones lives in the Ivy Apartments where Duncan was transported to Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas on Sunday, where he became the first person in the United States to contract the deadly Ebola virus.
I could have associated with that person or whatever, you know, when I go take out trash or mailbox or pay rent. Anything like that.
Media calls and requests to the apartment complex have not been returned. The apartment complex did hire armed security guards to keep media off the property, something residents we talked to say was unusual. Now, one thing the residents say they're so concerned about is they really don't know what Duncan looks like, and they fear they may have had contact with them. But as we know, health officials have stressed all day long that the 18 people that they have in isolation are just in isolation for 21 days to see if perhaps they did contract this. But you know, health officials say everyone they contacted is someone that was in direct contact with Duncan. So basically, if they don't know him, then odds are they did not meet up with him. So, you know, that should come as some relief to many of the ones I talked to today, Steve.
Got it. And we've been told that 21 days is kind of the time that it takes to become symptomatic. After that, they're out of the woods. We know these firefighters just dealt with this guy a few days ago. So why don't you transition? I know you've been covering the area where this man lived, but you also checked on how the firefighters are doing tonight. What have you learned?
Right, I confirmed late this evening that the three firefighters that transported Duncan to Presbyterian Hospital on Sunday, Unit 37, actually we saw that unit rolling by here several times today. It was not with those three paramedics. They are in isolation at their homes, and I can tell you that Dallas Fire Rescue says all three of them tested negative for the Ebola virus, but nevertheless, for the next 21 days, they will be in isolation in their own homes. And that unit that you saw, Unit 37, there's more than one of them, that unit is also in isolation.
Okay, so the one we're seeing is not, that one's, this 37 is in service, but the one that was used on the weekend is still out of service.
Right, it was the A shift that rolled out and the A shift that was rolling out again today, but it was with three different paramedics in a very different ambulance.
Okay, all right, James Rose in the Ivy Apartments neighborhood. Thank you very much.